A technology fee, but you still have to pay for printing. A student success fee. What the
How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We're going to be doing another one of the what's clearly a scam, but Americans have been conditioned to believe it's normal reactions. This one is part 2. And of course, the channel is TikTok Reacts. You can find a link to that down in that description section down below as always. Click like on the video. Let's start.
What's something that's clearly a scam, but Americans have been conditioned to believe is normal?
The concept of breakfast food. In America, we're taught to eat specific types of food for breakfast. Scrambled eggs, toast, bacon, whatever. But in many other countries, they have completely different breakfast foods, or they don't have specific breakfast foods. They just eat whatever they feel like eating in the morning. Like, I find it so weird that we have just accepted the fact that there are certain foods that you eat in the morning, most of which are not even nutritious, like pancakes, donuts, waffles. But if you eat this in the morning, you look like a freak.
I love eating cold pizza in the morning, cold chicken, all that sort of stuff. I think a lot of that is because of the like the capitalistic ways, you know, with advertising and stuff and different companies trying to push their products. So like, you know, like waffles, for instance, that was probably because of like Eggo brand, you know, they pushed that as a breakfast food, or of course cereal. But I don't eat cereal in the morning. I don't even really eat breakfast, honestly. I eat cereal at night. It's a great nighttime snack when you can't sleep and you got the, you know, you got the munchies, you're just hungry, whatever. Grab you a big old bowl or two of cereal. It's amazing. Now, bacon, that's good all day long. It's good on anything almost. But again, a lot of that's just, I think, because of marketing has kind of made it seem that that's what we should eat, right?
trickle down economics? Everything's decided by credit, but in order to get credit, you have to go into debt.
Yeah.
You pay monthly for insurance and it's required by law, but if you do actually use it, then they can raise your rate or make you pay a deductible.
Yeah, that part's crazy to me. It's just crazy.
Being conditioned to believe that it's impolite to share your salary with your coworkers when really that's just something that companies made up so that they wouldn't have to answer why they pay some people more than others.
Yeah, could be actually. But also a lot of times people just don't like to disclose that information.
You can die for your country at 18, but you can't drink a beer.
That's a big one. Yeah. I don't know that these are scams though. It's just messed up things, right?
Similarly, you can go thousands of dollars into debt the moment you graduate high school, but you can't rent a car till you're 25. That healthcare is a privilege, not a right. That people on welfare are the ones that are taking all your tax money when it's clearly the military.
Oh,
that
yeah.
lobbying and corporations are funding politicians so they work for them instead of a government for the people, which is what it's supposed to be. That working 5 out of 7 days a week your entire life is normal.
Not normal, not kosher. That's why I do this. But it is still work, in all fairness. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes.
Who decided that? Ugh.
Who decided that, she says.
High school will teach you the Pythagorean theorem, but won't teach you how to balance a budget or change a tire.
What is the Pythagorean theorem, guys? Let me check real quick. The Pythagorean theorem states that in a right angle triangle, the square of the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the squares of the other two sides. This theorem can be expressed as C with the T, or C2 something another equals A with the 2 plus B with the 2, where C is the hypotenuse and a and a B are the two legs of the triangle. Okay, well, I skipped math class. I didn't get into that whole geometry thing.
Average cost of daycare in America is $800 to $1,200 a month, just so the parent can go to work. The cost
Depends on where you are. We were paying like $100 a week.
of college, period. That you have to pay a fee to withdraw your own money from an ATM after you already pay fees to have the bank account. Paying for water. Water. You could take rainwater, but no, you have to pay for that too.
Oh yeah, that's the thing too. A lot of people that want to live off the grid and collect like water and stuff, they end up getting like fines and stuff. Like, not everybody, but like the people that are like, you know, trying to evade paying for water, which is crazy because the rest of the world, you don't really have to pay for water. Most places just, you know, it's just like society just gives you water for being part of it.
Maternity and paternity leave, or lack thereof, as if it isn't important to have kids and keep the population going.
Yeah, the thing with maternity leave, 6 weeks unpaid here, whereas in other countries, like they get like 12 weeks, 20 weeks, like whatever. It's crazy, but it's paid. And also, the father will get some maternity leave out of that as well, also paid, not in the United States.
The U.S. has 4% of the world population, but 20% of the COVID cases, but there's nothing more we could have done.
That's an interesting stat. Wow. I wonder if that's true.
Going into monster debt over a 4-year degree for the chance at a white-collar job is preferable to just learning a trade out of high school with no debt.
Yeah, exactly. Most of the time people get their degree, then they got to go in all this debt to pay back, student loans or whatever, right? And then like over half of them don't even end up getting a job in the field that they studied for, and they end up just going and getting a regular job and still owing all that money for a useless degree that they can't use.
Period tax on women. Why should we have to pay for pads and tampons? We're keeping the population going.
I'm not a woman, so I'm not sure about that one. But if it's true, that's pretty crazy.
For health insurance purposes, your teeth and your eyes are no longer a part of your body and require their own insurance.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of regular health insurance does not cover vision or dental. Probably because the crap they put in our food rots our teeth.
You have to pay a penalty fee if you pay certain loans off early.
That's another thing. Shouldn't they give you like a deal for paying it off early, right? Like there's less interest rate and stuff like that. It should be cheaper, but no, they make it more expensive because that's less money they're going to make in the long run because they're not getting that extra interest rate on top of it.
This is uniquely American that the girls are expected to take care of the glizzy, but so many boys don't think they have to reciprocate. The fact that the IRS knows exactly how much money we owe them in taxes, but they won't just send us a bill. They make us actually go and file our own taxes, which leaves room for human error and then us to get in trouble for it.
Yeah, the rest of the world, I don't know. I mean, I can't say the rest of the world, but a lot of the people that's commented that live in Europe say that they don't really have to deal with paying the taxes. Like they might get like a letter that basically says, hey, can you confirm this is correct? And that's pretty much all they have to do. The rest of it, just the government takes care of. They know how much money we make. They know. Why do we have to do all that?
The fact that 97% of scientists agree that climate change is happening, and we have evidence of it, as we've seen with half the country burning down, but there's still a huge portion of the country who doesn't believe that it's happening at all.
I think the biggest debate on that is whether if it's human induced or just a natural part of the Earth cycle. I think we can all agree that the climates are changing, but is it because of human activity or is it just something that happens, right? Are we making it worse? I don't know. That's for you to decide. Put a comment down below.
Republican lawmakers will rail about how socialism is bad while accepting their taxpayer-funded healthcare. That recognizing the problems of the country and talking about it out loud means that we're lazy Democrats who don't want to work. I want to work. I just don't want to struggle every moment of my life.
No comment.
Electoral college. I mean, it made sense when people couldn't read, but why now? We all have internet access and a basic public education. The contradiction that you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, and yet only 3% of cases actually go to trial.
They don't treat you that way. They certainly treat you like you're guilty until proven innocent, for sure.
Along those lines, for-profit prisons.
Yeah.
This one's not a big deal, but why are there such giant gaps in our bathroom stalls?
Yeah, that's something that like the entire rest of the world is very highly confused about. And honestly, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, what is that about? Like, what?
Pharmaceutical advertisements, please ask your doctor about persuasion. That's not normal. That we spend more money for healthcare per capita than any other country, but we're 37th healthiest in the world.
It's because a medicine that costs $20 in another country will cost us about, $600 here. Even if the companies are based out of the United States, it'll be cheaper in other countries and they'll charge us an arm and a leg here.
That such a huge portion of our country is unwilling to grapple with the realities of our history and acknowledge that this country was built on the backs of black slaves and indigenous genocide.
In fact, I'm pretty sure it was the biggest act of genocide in human history. Yeah. Wrap your head around that one.
The lack of bidets. I don't know if you know this, but toilet paper is not common in every country. You need to try a bidet today.
So you need to try a bidet today. I think it would tickle.
Overdraft fees. American banks made $11 billion in 2019 off of the backs of broke-ass people.
Wow.
How about this? Decline the transaction and let me keep my money. Luggage fees for airlines? Why? We already paid for the plane ticket. You know that we need to bring things when we go on a trip. Restaurants don't ask you to pay for the table when you want to sit there and eat. The fact that insulin costs $7 to produce, but it costs $99 a vial in the US. Why? It's $12 in Canada. It's $8 in the UK.
Exactly. That's what I was saying earlier. Yeah, they charge an outrageous amount for stuff here.
That Americans are fascinated by tiny houses, but we turn our noses up at manufactured homes.
I live in a manufactured home. It's quite cozy. I love it.
That scientists have long concluded that a whole foods plant-based diet is what's best for the country, but we still have meat and dairy on the food pyramid because lobbying. We have to pay property taxes forever, even if we've already paid off the house and land, and we pay twice the world average.
Wow. That don't surprise me at all that we pay twice the world average. But yeah, that's why America, you know, the government, not the people, that's why the American government's so rich, because they take advantage. What was that laugh about?
The fact that almost everybody in this country either has or knows someone who has a horror story about our healthcare system, and yet so many people still think Medicare for all is like this villainous thing. Active shooter drills. And
yeah, exactly. But it's a sad reality. But yeah, school shootings are definitely a thing, so it is better to be prepared for it. But it shouldn't be like that.
School. The fact that marijuana is illegal when cigarettes aren't.
That's a big one. Yeah, that's absolutely ridiculous. Cigarettes kill people, whereas marijuana actually can help with a lot of different things: anxiety, eating disorders, sleep disorders, depression, etc., etc.
That we celebrate the fact that so many people don't take vacation or work a bunch of overtime. It's really just the company saying, fuck your personal life, we own you. That so many politicians are more focused on the power of their own party than working for the people. And I am talking about both of them.
Yeah, exactly. They just want to fight amongst themselves. And we, the people, are the ones that the shit falls on, you know, like I said before in another video, shit rolls downhill, guys. And us people at the bottom, we get shit on.
The fact that there's so much money involved in campaigns that a lot of times it's not who's best for the job, it's who has the most money. The fact that we legitimately have news anchors who present their opinions as fact on primetime television. Black History Month. You're literally admitting that you just left them out of the history books for 200 years.
Well, they left out Native Americans. I mean, they tried to bury all Native American history to the point where there's not a lot left. We don't know a whole lot about it.
Well done.
The following sentence, ready? Nah, I can't afford an ambulance. I'll just get a ride to the hospital. That's
Yep.
scientific information is now considered a political discussion. Why?
I'm starting to think, is this like the same girl the whole time? Like they just all look super, like just super similar. I don't know. Very similar, at least. I think the last one was definitely different, but wow.
When colleges have the audacity to call up their alumni and be like, can you please donate? Knowing full ass well I'm still paying off that damn degree. That we keep using freedom as like our biggest flex. Like, we're free, we're the best country. So many other countries have freedom. We know that, right?
Propaganda, guys. It's propaganda and brainwashing.
Going into bankruptcy because you took a trip to the hospital. For car insurance purposes, your windshield is no longer a part of your car and requires its own coverage.
Oh, I was not aware of that one. So car insurance doesn't cover windshields. Interesting.
The customer is always right. No, they're not. I am so sick of this concept. This enables and sometimes even rewards being a complete asshole. Apparently, other countries don't make kids face the flag and pledge their allegiance every morning.
Well, they used to in Nazi Germany. Yeah. It's not normal.
Change this up a little bit and go a little bit deeper into certain subjects. Let's start with the fuckery that is college.
This is definitely the same girl.
It's already bad enough that tuition is so high, but what really grinds my gears is the college fees, like student activity fee. What? A transportation fee, but you still have to pay for parking if you drive to campus.
Oh, wow.
The athletic fee, but you still have to pay if you want to use the facilities. A fee for an ID card. A fee to request your own transcripts.
They probably give you a fee on top of the fee they already gave you, and then give you another fee just to get the receipt back.
A technology fee, but you still have to pay for printing. A student success fee. What the? A student health fee, but you still have to pay for student insurance if you actually want to use any of the health services. When you have to pay for a new textbook because they changed 3 sentences from last year and now it's a new edition. Similarly, when they make an online workbook for that same textbook and you have to pay for that too.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous, guys. I don't even have any words. Just ridiculous.
Paying for your application to graduate.
Wow.
And none of these fees are optional. So what does our tuition even pay for?
They don't cover the fees, that's for damn sure.
The following is a list of...
This is the same girl. I'm convinced. There's still the same orange thing on the back of her couch.
real fees presented on real medical bills and given to real Americans and been like, yeah, please pay these. Father reported a $40 charge for skin-to-skin contact with his infant. He was charged to hold his baby.
Yeah, that is unheard of. They do not do that in other countries. That is absolutely absurd.
$80 for a teaspoon of Vaseline.
Exactly. It is, yeah.
$15 for a Tylenol pill. Wait, did you want the nurse to hand you the pill? Oh, that'll be $6.25.
Yeah, a transfer fee.
$35,000 for an ectopic pregnancy. And if you lost the baby and you don't have insurance, that'll be $9,000 for a miscarriage.
Jeez.
$600 to remove stitches.
Yeah, I'll cut them out my damn self. Screw you. I ain't paying no $6,000 to get stitches out. Give me a knife.
$8,000 for a head CT. $120,000 for a chemotherapy treatment.
Yeah, that... Do you see, guys? Do you see? America's broken. It's fractured. It's splintered all over the place.
One treatment. It's also between 5 and 10 grand to have a baby in the US. Do you have a ridiculous fee you've had to pay? Share it with us.
Not having kettles. I can't believe that the vast majority of Americans don't use kettles.
Yeah, this is one that my comment section got blew up about because somebody pulled out a kettle and I didn't recognize what it was. I know about kettles. It just didn't look like, I didn't see a cord. It just looked like a Kool-Aid pitcher or something. But yeah, no, kettles aren't like a huge thing here. We just use the microwave, guys. I'm sorry. And no, it doesn't give you radiation poisoning or whatever somebody said. I don't know. I mean, maybe it does. I don't know. They lied to us about everything else, so they probably lie and say it's safe, for all I know.
They like heat up water on the stove. They microwave water. What is that about? Yeah. Like, look at this that I saw on Twitter. A fucking god sends this. Oh my god, mine is so cute and rose gold. Got it from Target like a year ago. Plus, it shuts off once it boils, so I don't burn shit, LMAO. I get so tired of warming water on the stove like my ancestors. Tip if you hadn't thought of it already, boil the kettle for cooking as well. For example, if you're making pasta, instead of bringing the water to boil on the stove, boil it in the kettle, then pour it into the pot so you don't have to wait.
I need to get one of those, actually. I really do.
Like, come on. I get that it's a British thing in culture to make tea, but surely everyone could just use a fucking kettle. Like, grow up?
Oh, that's great. That's awesome. We're going to check out some comments on that. That's what we're going to do. It says, I'm always astonished at people trying to immigrate legally or otherwise to the U.S. The place is a shrine to greed and stupidity. Yeah, I agree with that. Evidently, insulin, it says, yeah, insulin is 9.35 pounds in England, completely free in Scotland. So not the whole UK. Wow. It says that lady waited for this question her whole life. She has so many examples. Yeah, I agree there. She was on there like 12 times or something. It says, why not everyone of the same mind vote none of the above and then wait to find out if the politicians actually ask what it is you want them to do? The kettle thing blows my mind. I'm Canadian. I've always had a kettle. I don't know other Canadians who doesn't have one. We're directly above the US and we shop at half of the same stores. How do so many Americans not know about kettles? I'm aware, guys. I'm aware. Let's see. It says the windshield thing is clearly a scam. You have to change your entire windshield if it gets a tiny crack or get fined. Depends on the state. Some states doesn't have car inspections. It is never repair, even though repair kits exist and they're relatively inexpensive. Yeah, exactly. They'll say that, oh, we can't fix that at all. We have no choice but to replace it, and it's going to cost X amount of dollars. It says, and do you know what Safelite does with your old windshield? I bet they offer to dispose of it for you. Yeah, they probably fix it and resell it. Add to the extremely varied laws and enforcement. It is if it was just a safety issue, the law would be converging to a small interval like seatbelt laws. And finally, how can Safelite of $4 TV ads? Yeah, exactly. If it was a safety thing, it would just be a standard like federal law like seatbelts. Like they said, it shouldn't be like state dependent, right? Somebody says 47 years lurking around, never had or paid for insurance and have no plans to start. Well, give it another 20 years. You're going to want your insurance when you get old. But that's another thing too with insurance. You have to like put down everything that's going on with you. So like if you already have a condition, some of them will be like, oh, well, we can't cover you. Or they'll be like, oh, well, we're going to have to charge you this premium because you have this illness. You're paying for it every month. What is that about? But anyways, you guys have a super fun, awesome day. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.